Hi, I'm George Pearson. This time around we'll be using adjustment layers inside of Photoshop Elements to do a perfect eye color change, just like that. Now if you like this video, make sure you click that like button and of course share it with your friends. Most important, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you enjoy this training, also take a look at my complete training and you'll find links for those courses up there in the upper right hand corner. Okay, let's get to it. I'll start this eye color change project by just deleting all of these layers over here and going right back down to the first layer. There it goes. Get rid of all of that stuff. Okay, here's the original picture. Now I have a link so you can download this picture if you want to, and you'll find that in the materials for this project. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to create masks for just the iris part of the eyes. Now to do that, I'll be zooming in nice and close on just one of these eyes in here. There we go. And let's grab the elliptical or ellipse tool right here. Notice I have white as my foreground color. If yours is at the defaults like that, just click that reversing button right there and put white as your foreground color. Circle, set at a circle as you can see here, and also drawn from the center. So come in and find the center. Now notice that the pupil here is a little bit off center, so don't look at the pupil, look at the overall shape of the eye. So the center looks like it's right about here. Now we can adjust this a little bit once we have this drawn, so it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. Click and drag here and drag it out until you're almost filling up the whole iris. Not quite. Leave a bit of that dark around the edge there. That's perfectly fine. There's our basic shape. Now if you want to adjust the position, just use those arrow keys on your keypad to move it around a little bit to get exactly where you want it. So that's the first bit, just getting that basically in shape. And again, you can see here I have a little bit of the outside showing as well. Now let's convert this shape from a shape object. This is a smart layer shape. Right click on this and choose simplify layer. It's now just a graphic. Now I want to soften the edge up of this circle just a little bit. So go up here to the filter menu, come down to blur, Gaussian blur right there, and I have mine set at 1 pixel. Choose OK. It just softens up that edge just a little bit. That's fine. Okay, let's double click on the name here and change the name here. This is I1. Now take this layer, drag it up to the new layer button to make a copy of that layer. And let's rename this one I2 so we can keep these things straight. I2. Okay. Pull that over here. See, it's just kind of floating on top. Let's scroll over to the left-hand side, pull this over here, and then just position that properly on this eye as well. Again, doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. And you want some of that dark around the outside. That's exactly what you want. Okay, back over here to I1. There it is. Let's change the opacity here down to 50. I'll just type it in. And then I want to be able to see where the edge of that eyelid is. The picture is too dark over here, of course, as you can see, so I'll put an adjustment layer above the background here. Let's go up to Layer, Adjustment Layers, and Levels will work out fine. Where it says Use Previous Layer to create clipping mask, make sure that's checked. Choose OK, and then grab the middle control here and move to the left far enough so you can really see where the edge of that eyelid is. You can see it's right in through there. We'll be getting rid of this in just a minute, but this is just a temporary so we can get our eyelid position. With that in place, go to the polygonal lasso tool right there. Go up to I1, and then starting over here, right on the edge of that eyelid, let's just make a nice little polygon lasso right across here and clear out, and then up and around, and back to your starting point. And we're on the I1 layer up there. Then just hit the delete key. And it cuts that piece off. Okay. Layer, deselect. Let's now set this back to 100%. There we go. Move over to the left-hand side. Do the exact same thing on this side. So this is I2. Set the opacity at 50%. Using the polygonal lasso tool, I'll start over here where I can see the eyelid really well. Just follow along the edge of that eyelid. And take it clear outside a little bit and then up and around. Back to the starting point. Hit the delete key and click again. That just takes care of where that eyelid is. Okay, and then reset that back up to 100% again. Okay, so we now have these two white eyes. We'll be using these to create a layer mask to work with our color change. So I want to put these on the same layer. Let's first hide that. We no longer need that. You can actually delete this layer if you want to. I'll just hide it. Hide the background layer. Make sure I'm on one of our layers. There we go. Control, Shift, Alt, and E. Makes a copy. I'll just move this to the top. Makes a copy of just these two layers. Duplicates those two layers onto just the one layer. So now if I hide these, I now have just the one layer up here with both of those combined onto it. You can see that if I go back here to the eyes, and I'll go to the left-hand side, you can see they're both on that one layer now. We can zoom out just a bit. That's pretty good, so you can really see those eyes in there. Okay, let's just double click up here. This is the eye mask master layer. Now take your background layer, drag it up to the new layer button, making a copy of that background. Now go up to the eye master, the icon or the thumbnail right here. Notice I'm not selecting this layer, I'm just going up to this position. Hold the control key down and click on that thumbnail for the eye mask master layer. You can see how that selects both of those white shapes. Now we're still on the background copy layer down here. Click on the layer mask and it gives us a layer mask with just the center part of those eyes. Okay, let's go ahead and close or hide that layer. Back to the move tool here. I'll hide the background layer. So we now have just the eye part of that selected eye, just the color part of the eye. Okay, now we can do our color change. We'll do another adjustment layer right here. So go up to Layer, Adjustment Layer, Hue and Saturation this time. Where it says Use Previous Layer to create clipping mask, make sure that is checked. Choose OK. And we can now change our color any way you want to. You can change the actual color by changing the hue in here. There we go. This says some work better than others. You'll find some just kind of really weird, like that's kind of an odd coloration. But notice as I do the color change in here, I'm keeping all of the detail inside of the iris. I'm not losing any of that detail. We lose a little bit of the whiteness up here on the highlights. We'll fix that as a last step. So just find a color that you like. You can increase the saturation if you want to quite a bit. You can go real high and it gets kind of weird. You can go up pretty high on that saturation to adjust that color. So I think somewhere maybe in here this time, maybe about 52 in here, and maybe pretty high here, say 61 on our saturation. I'll leave the lightness alone. This really won't do anything, give us any help here. Go up here, it's too white. Here it gets too dark, so I'll just leave the lightness at 0. So that color changes our eyes, but if you notice, it also affects a little bit of the edge of that dark, and it affects the black just a little bit, so it's not perfect yet. To make this perfect, we're on that hue saturation layer. Change the blend mode down to color. So it's only changing just the color now and nothing else. Now it blends much better. The irises come back in full black, and it blends in much, much better. So there we go. So if I hide and show that, there's your color change right there. Now I've lost a little bit of the whiteness up in here. We can fix that just by adding in another specular highlight on top of those. So let's add a new layer in here. New layer button. We still have white as our foreground color. That's fine. Let's go up to the paintbrush, and I'll set this back to the defaults So yours will look like this probably. So go up where it says default brushes, come down to assorted brushes, and then scroll down on this list a little more than halfway or so. We're not all the way up, actually. There we go. It's that one right there. It's just below these kind of regular shaped stars. It's a little starburst thing. It says 50 underneath of it. Click on that one. Use that brush. And then come right, you can see there's the shape of that brush right there. Come right on top of that specular highlight and just click that twice. 1, 2. Go over to this one, right here, the brightest part of that, and click that twice. 1, 2. And there we go. Okay, let's set this back to fit on screen. Looks real nice, as you can see. Let's now take the background layer here. I'll drag this up to the new layer button. Pull that above everything else. So there's the original, and there's with our color change. If you want to change your color some more, just go back to this hue saturation layer. Double click on that icon right there. That brings back up that control, and you can then change your color right now to anything that you want in here. Just that easy. You may need to come in and make some fine-tune adjustments on your saturation after you have changed your color. I'll put it back at 52, which I liked. There we go. And here's our saturation. Again, going too far looks weird. Go to the left, it just goes gray. Just find a nice amount of, nice spot in there. A little higher gets a little bit brighter, a little more to the left gets a bit duller. And I think around 65, 64 in there looks pretty good on that. So there we go. That's how to do a nice perfect eye color change using adjustment layers. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it useful. If you like this video, click on the like button below to let others know. You can click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. I'm frequently uploading new training videos. Don't forget to check out my website at howtogurus.com.